stop. I can't take any more. I can't do this. I cannot do this any fucking more. I can't do it anymore.
Still don't get it, do you? Huh? This ain't about your money, bro. Your boy gave you up. That's right. And we ain't had to torture his ass neither.
Guys, the Chicago Sky season, this current 2025 season of the WNBA, it is over. For all intents, purposes, words, expressions, whatever, what have you, punchlines, we have to come to the conclusion we must, to protect our own mental health, okay, as Chicago Sky fans, we have to just accept reality. The reality is we have an incompetent coach, being Tyler Marsh. Okay, yes, I would say that he shares 30% of the blame. But really, I want to also just focus on Jeff Pagliacca because, again, he's the captain of our ship, being the general manager of the Chicago Sky. He put this roster together, okay? I say he gets 70% of the blame. Also, you know what? I'll put it like this. I'll give him 60% of the blame, Tyler Marsh 20% of the blame, and then the women of the Chicago Sky, our skyscrapers, they also share blame, okay? They got the other 20%. Okay, there's plenty of blame to go around. At this point, I'm about to add being a Chicago Sky fan on my VA disability. At this point, because again, I've been deployed for 9 months. I was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base. Nothing is as worse for my mental health as being a Chicago Sky fan, and I'm dead serious. At this point, we need to start a support group for those who have been victim of the Chicago Sky, okay? We just put so much hope and just interest. We just invest so much of our time, our emotions, our energy, our time into this organization. It's like they just keep fumbling. They fail so badly. Jeff Pagliacca, Tyler Marsh, and the skyscrapers have failed themselves, have failed the organization, the city of Chicago, and all the Chicago Sky fans. Because we just got mollywopped in today's game. Okay, the game concluded with the Indiana Fever having 92 points. Chicago Sky only had 70 points. Now, I had a little bit of hope. So I did have a little bit of hope. I was like, you know what? Aari McDonald is out, unfortunately. Sydney Colson, even though she's not much of an offensive threat, she doesn't really provide that many points for her team. She's out, unfortunately, due to injury. She tore her ACL. Aari McDonald broke a bone in her foot. Of course, Caitlin Clark is still out due to that left groin injury. I'm like, maybe we can have a little bit of hope, okay? We got Ariel Atkins back. Rachel Banham has been doing better. But we have a lot of bums on our team, from top to bottom. Okay, that also, of course, that includes both Jeff Pagliacca and Tyler Marsh. Offensively, the Chicago Sky is not a threat. We're just not a threat. In today's game, the Indiana Fever displayed just absolute enormous offensive skills. And then on the defensive side, okay, on the other side of that, they shut us down. There was nothing we could do. They were on us like white on rice. They smothered the Chicago Sky, our skyscrapers. The Fever literally cooked the Sky. In the first quarter, of course, it started off terrible for us. We were able to make a measly 16 points compared to the Indiana Fever's 25 points. The second quarter comes around. The Sky scored 21 points. Fever scored 23 points. The third quarter comes around. The Sky, we scored 17 points. Fever scored 26. The fourth and final quarter, the Sky scored 16 points. The Fever scored 18 points. To put it into perspective, the highest points made for any player on the Chicago Sky tonight was 11 points. Whereas for the Indiana Fever, it was 26 points. Let's start with the winners, okay? For the individual player statistics real quick. Because I got a rant. I'm sorry to rant, but it's like I'm just tired, right? Sophie Cunningham made 16 points, had 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Natasha Howard had 7 points, 0 assists, 11 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston put up 15 points. She had 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell, again, she was the leading scorer in tonight's game for both teams. Okay, of course, Kelsey Mitchell is half Power Ranger, half Ninja. She cannot be stopped. Okay, everybody talks about how she is just not guardable. Okay, she put up 26 points. She had 8 assists, 2 rebounds. Lexi Hall had 17 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Chloe Bibby had 0 points. 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Damaris Dantas put up 4 points, had 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Michaela Timpson had 7 points, 0 assists, and 7 rebounds. And Brianna Turner had 0 points, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. Now for the Chicago Sky, Michaela Amuwe had 7 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. Elizabeth Williams had 8 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds. Camila Cardoso had 6 points, 3 assists, 12 rebounds. Rachel Banham had 11 points, 3 assists, 0 rebounds. Ariel Atkins had 8 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Maddie Westbeld has improved. Okay, she put up 10 points, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. Kia Nurse had, let me see. Kia Nurse had 2 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Kia Nurse got to go. Rebecca Allen had 9 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. Haley Van Lith did a little bit better. She had 6 points, 3 assists, 1 rebounds. And the Uzun lady had 3 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. Jeff Pagliacca can't stop making bad decisions. Again, it's time for him to be removed. At this point, if he's not removed, it's time to launch an investigation against the entire organization, okay? It's giving RICO charges. Something is not right about this entire situation. It comes across as though Jeff Pagliacca is trying to purposely sabotage the entire Chicago Sky as a whole organization. He makes the goofiest decisions. It doesn't make any sense. And then he tries to paint it under the guise of, oh, this woman, this player, she's like really good offensively. She's won a championship down there at the DC Mystics, i.e. Ariel Atkins, Uzun. Oh, she won this award and trophy. He's an idiot. I'm sorry, but it's just time for us to just smell the roses and just figure out, we have to come to the conclusion that Jeff does not know what he's doing. He does not know what talent, okay, and women's basketball, if it punched him in the nose. This man is insane, okay, and is a terrorist. Him and Tyler. It's like it's no more of that. It's gotten to the point, like, it's so bad. When I would watch, like, just a couple games ago, I think it was us versus the Washington Mystics. Of course, Angel Reese was not in she wasn't in the game. She's still out due to that back injury. But I think Doechii was in the crowd, along with another celebrity. Half of the stadium at the Wintrust Arena is empty. It was empty. You know why? Because people don't want to watch terrible basketball. When I say terrible basketball, Chicago Sky is an organization. Our skyscrapers, they suck at the basic fundamentals of basketball. I mean, just the basic fundamentals. In tonight's game, it showed that, and it showed it in a terrible, terrible way. When I say basic fundamentals, I'm not talking about like, A1 level ball handling skills, dunking a basketball. No. I'm talking about just simply passing the ball from point A to point B. We couldn't even do that. It was like a slapstick comedy. It was just so goofy, like the movie Goofy. Remember Goofy? I see Haley Van Lith trying to throw Rachel Bannon the ball. It goes between her legs and out into the freaking out of bounds. Can't do a simple ball pass. We have zero ball movement. Shot clock violation after shot clock violation after shot clock violation because we're indecisive. Our offense is stagnant. We are stale. We looking around scared, dribbling with the ball. Why are you afraid offensively when you are the threat? You are dribbling the ball around, trying to make a decision, biting your fingernails, trying to figure out what should I do. Should I try to check up a shot? Should I pass it to so-and-so? What should I do? And then you just turn over the ball anyways. Like, are you serious? These women are professional basketball players. Chicago Sky fans, it's to the point we don't even want to show up. I haven't been to not one game yet. And again, I said, like, forget y'all. I'm going to just wait until the playoffs. When another team that actually wants it, who actually acts like professional athletes. They don't act like professional athletes. They don't act like professional basketball players. They act like a bunch of freaking, I don't even know, the Three Stooges. The way they handle the ball, they don't handle the ball. Just so many turnovers. I don't care about Ariel Angel Reese was out, so-and-so is out, enough. I need to see some film about just how does Tyler Marsh train these women? Like, what is the practices like? Because nothing is adding up. Absolutely nothing makes sense. The way they acted today, offensively and defensively, was a joke. Again, I'm just here to report the news and analyze this game and talk about what's going on. Again, we need to start a support group. I'm serious. We need to be able to, like, us as Chicago Sky fans or even Angel Reese fans, she got to get up out of there. Angel and Camilla, we got to get them up out of there. We need to launch an investigation against Jeff Pagliacca mainly, Tyler Marsh right below him, and then the entire Chicago Sky as an organization, because it's giving drug mule. They're not beating the allegations. These women are like, they just play like they're not professional women. Kia Nurse and Rebecca Allen is just disgusting. The way they play basketball, handle the ball, is absolutely atrocious. Haley Van Lith, she gave us 6 points. She's finally not being a bum, but it still wasn't enough, clearly. We got destroyed by 22 points. Now, mind you, our last meeting when it was us versus the Indiana Fever, we lost by 15 points. Now, yes, granted, we were at our home court. We had the home court advantage, but that's still no excuse for us to, like, get did like this. The Chicago Sky needs to be investigated. I'm serious. Jeff needs to be removed. He has no business running an organization. He does not understand basketball. he does not have common sense. He doesn't have an IQ enough to actually put together a roster that's going to be an offensive threat as well as defensively. This man is just like, it's like you would think like he just like threw a bunch of women's hats in like a freaking pillowcase, and he just randomly chose names out of a hat or something. I'm not sure exactly like why. What do you think, Uzun? I'm gonna leave Ariel Atkins alone, but just overall, not just this season but last season, Mariah Jefferson, Rachel Bannum, he let them. He got both of them and let Marina Mabrey walk. What fool in their right mind would do that? Jeff Pagliacca is a disaster for our team. Again, it's been a rough game. It's been a rough night. The Chicago Sky, we will yet have another season with Angel Reese where we will not be making it into the playoffs. Angel Reese, if you got any sense, if you're worth the salt in your body, you would demand a trade as soon as your rookie contract is over with. The Chicago Sky needs to be investigated because they're just simply idiots. Mainly Jeff and Tyler. Yes, again, Tyler shares some of the blame, and also the women of the Chicago Sky. Kia Nurse and Rebecca Allen, at this point, the way that they're playing in this season, they're not going to be in the WNBA for long. The sky has fallen.